This video is a walkthrough of task 2 for the farm PSA. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look back at what the task was. So it's Mr. Jones owning an animal farm. He needs a digital information point for visitors to his farm. The information point will be used to find the location of attractions, facilities and accommodation. The information point will consist of 4 screens that will be accessed using touch screens positioned around the farm. So let's go down and have a look at task 2. So task 2, the user interface for the information point must allow visitors to find their location, the details of attractions, facilities and accommodation. It will be used on touch screens positioned around the animal farm. And then your standard bullet points, it should be easy to use appropriate design principles, include different accessibility features. As with all, you've got to produce 4 screens of the user interface. In this case, you're given the titles Home, Attractions, Facilities and Accommodation. It says that the images and information are in the resource document. So we'll go down, we'll have a little look at the resource document. And here's our resource document. So we've got a logo, we've got the social media icons, toilets, parking, there's a picnic table, information point, main gate, first aid, accessibility features, an icon for Mrs. Jones Treehouse Village, Orwell's Kitchen, Mo's Ice Cream Parlour, tractor rides, small animal barn, large animals, and then you've got some information here. So you've got opening times and entrance fees, a tractor ride, Orwell's Kitchen, Mo's Ice Cream Parlour and the Treehouse Village. So looking at this, I need to think back to the screens that I've been asked to make. And the screens that I've been asked to make are home, attractions, facilities and accommodation. So I can see here that accommodation is going to be the Treehouse Village and the associated image for that. Facilities, I'm going to say, are going to be the ice cream parlour and Orwell's Kitchen. Then my attraction must be my tractor ride and anything to do with animals. So now I've got an idea of what I need to put onto my slides, so I can start designing my screens. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to open Microsoft Office and I'm going to open up PowerPoint. There's no point in doing each slide separately. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is put on the key things that we're going to want on every slide. A reminder that this is just a plan. You don't write loads of text, you don't put the images, just boxes. So what I'm going to do is go to View and I'm going to go to Slide Master. And I'm just going to choose this one for my master slide. And I'm going to take everything off that's on there and I'm going to decide what I want. So the first thing I want to do is have the logo on it. So I'm just going to insert a text box. I'm going to put my logo in this top corner. And I'm just going to put logo. Okay. Now what I can do is, if I want to, I can add some text which will just explain my design decision. So in top corner of all slides for consistency and to show house style. Just a key bit of information there. So I've got that there. That's my logo. I quite fancy having the box drawn around it, so all I'm going to do is click on this, go to format, and I'm going to make sure I've got a shape outline on it. So that's something that I want. Now I remember when I was on my resource document that there were some navigation buttons that I quite liked. So forwards, backwards and home icons. So I'm going to decide where I'm going to put those. So I might decide to have these maybe down at the bottom here. Wherever you put them just needs to be something that looks the same place. So again, I'm going to put a text box, and I'm again going to just pop an outline on it. I'm going to say forward, backward, home, icons. And it helps if I spell it correctly, so I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So I've got that there. I'm going to make my font just a little bit smaller. So I've popped there, I've added it to all the slides for consistency, and so it's easy for people to navigate the screens. Remember, one of those key things you've got is ease of use. The other thing that people might want to do is not just go forwards or backwards or home, they might want to be able to select where they're going to go. So I'm just going to choose to put a little menu in. Now to do that, I'm just going to put a table in, and I'm just going to pop a table with all 4 slides, 4 boxes on to represent all 4 screens, and I'm going to put home, and then it was attractions, facilities, and accommodation. And if I typed slower, I'd spell better. Okay, so I've got all of those there. So that's my key navigation here. Now you can, if you want to, go down and you can write at the bottom and explain things, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop in just a little text box here and put in a nice sensible way to show that I know what I'm doing. Navigation bar on all screens makes it easy to move to the screen with the information that you want. So that's nice and easy here. Okay, so navigation bar on all screens keeps it consistent, makes it easy to move to the screen with the information that you want. So that's nice and easy. Now I need to think about my accessibility. That's going to go on all the screens. I'm not entirely sure what this icon represents. This one's definitely a magnifier, so I definitely want this one on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to drop myself a little text box, and I'm going to put my text box just down here, and I'm just going to put in here accessibility icons. Okay, and underneath that it's going to be a consistent layout so that they are easy to find, allows the screens to be used by everyone. Okay, so I've got a set of accessibility icons that are down there. So let's have a little look what other things we could put on it. Okay, social media icons. So let's have a think about where we're going to put those. Maybe in this top corner. So again, text box, and then there's my social media icons. Again, mustn't forget to put my shape outlines onto these so that it's clear where I'm going. So they're my social media icons, and then underneath, why I'm going to put them there, consistent location allows people to access social media for more information. Okay, so I've got my key information that's on there. So I'm happy that those are the things that I need to put onto each slide. So that is now my slide master complete. Every slide now is going to be based upon this. If you want to put other things, if you look at this corner, you think it looks a bit bare, then you could have a little look and see if in the shapes there's anything that you need to do. So you might have, for example, a question mark icon or an information icon. So you might decide that you want to put this one here and say, if you click this, it does this for whatever reason. But as far as I'm concerned, this meets all the things that we need to do. I'm happy with it, so I'm going to close my master slide. I'm going to delete this slide completely, go to new slide, and there's the one that we're going to want. So I'm going to put 4 of those in. Okay, 1 for each screen. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is make it clear that this is my home screen. So we do that through a text box, and we're going to draw it here. And we're going to say home screen. And then we need to give a little bit of information why. So this is so that all users know which screen they are on. Okay, so this will make it easier for people to use. So nice and simple. This lets all users know which screen they're on. This makes it easy to use. Let's have a little look what we might want to put on here. We've already got the logo because that's in the top left hand corner. Social media we've used. There's toilets, there's parking, there's a picnic table, information point. So you might want to put something about the information point being at main gate or things like that. Let's have a little look down at what text we've got. There we go, opening times and entrance fees. So maybe that's going to be useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a text box in here, draw the text box here, and I'm going to say welcome information and ticket prices from the resource document. So somebody knows we're going to copy that. Okay, so all you're going to do is give that a little bit of space so that you're showing you know that that's going to take a little bit of space on here. And we've got quite a lot of space down this side, and I noticed that we had got some nice pictures of animals. So I'm going to pop some pictures of animals in there. So I'm just going to put an insert, nice little text box down here. Make sure it's got an outline. And I'm going to say images of animals from resource document. Now, why do I want to include them? So I need to think about why am I putting those there? So I'm going to put helps to show what type of animals the farm has. This makes it easier to understand for people who maybe cannot read well. E.g., so we could say overseas visitors or young children for. Okay, so we've just got something there that shows what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my images of the animals that are going to go there. Okay, what else could I do on my home screen? I could use some of the other images. So there's a nice I for information point and main gate, so I could put this nice exclamation mark on just if I want to. So I could put another little text box in, and I'm going to put information point image so that they know what we're wanting to put there. And then we could have, so text to say where information can be found to help people. So anything like that we've got something like that. So there is my home screen, which is completed. Right, important thing that I need to do is I need to make sure I save this. So I'm just gonna drop this into my user area to make sure I've got it. You can save it wherever you need to do. So I'm going to save it as Farm Slide Designs just so I know what it is next time I come to use it. So that one there is my home screen. So makes sense. The next one I'm going to do is attractions. So I'm going to put in, just like I did before, instead of home screen, might as well copy this, pop it into the same place, and label it attractions screen. Okay, so that's my attractions screen. I need to think, what was my attraction? And oh, it was tractor rides, wasn't it? So I'm going to have the image of the tractor, and then I'm going to have the tractor ride text. So maybe that's all I need to have here. So I'm going to put 2 text boxes in. One here, image of tractor, and then my next text box, so tractor text from resource document. Give it a little bit of space. Okay, I've got my image of my tractor. I need to talk about my design consideration. So I'm going to go here, reduce my font. This is used to illustrate the text to support the user in understanding what attractions are on offer. Okay, you could, if you want to, insert another image, and we could have the info icon if you want to have it there. So you could have your little information icon here. And then you could have a little text box next to it that says, click for more info on tractor rides, for example. And this is just going a little bit over what you are required to do, but it's just filling up the screen. And then I'm just going to pop a little box on here just to explain why I've popped that there. So there's my text box. Added so that there isn't too much white space. It also offers more information to make it easier for people to understand the rights. Okay, so I've just got my clear bit of information saying why I've added those there. So save that one, that one's done. So facilities, now facilities is a bit tricky. You've got Orwell's Kitchen and you've got Moe's Ice Cream Parlour. And for both of those, you've got an image. So you've got to decide how you are going to balance this on the screen. Okay, you've got to decide where it's got to be balanced. We're going to need to know which screen we're on. So I'm just going to copy that again, pop it in the same place, and make sure I've called it facilities screen, and it helps if I use caps because I've started that way. So I've got 4 pieces of information to put in, an image and some text. So I think the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to pop here and I'm going to call it ice cream parlour image. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to format it and give it an outline. And then I'm going to copy this and paste it because I want both my images to be the same size. Okay, make sure that they're lined up, and it was ice cream parlour and it was Orwell's kitchen. So then I'm going to call it Orwell's kitchen image. So I've got the 2 there. Okay, so nice and simple. They're the same size image. Maybe make it a little bigger. There we go. So they're the same size image. Then I'm going to put the text in. So another text box. So maybe move that so it's in the center of this text box. Okay. And then we're going to copy that across and put one so it goes the other side. So text about ice cream parlour, and then in this one text about Orwell's, if I could spell, Orwell's kitchen. So now I've got quite a bit of space in the middle, so maybe I'm just going to move these just in a smidgen, just so it looks nice and balanced with the information that I've got. So I've got my facilities, they're on there, that's the information we need to know. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to copy this facilities screen and we're going to have a go at the accommodation screen. So I'm going to paste it, change facilities, remember caps this time, so accommodation screen. And what have we got for the accommodation? It was a treehouse village image, and then it was information for Mrs. Jones's treehouse. So let's start with this. Now on the last screen I did text images above the text, so I'm going to keep that way for consistency. But this time I've only got one thing, so we're going to put it at the top. Okay, so we're going to do it nice and central. So we're going to do treehouse image, and we're going to make it reasonably big. Make sure we've got our outline on. And then we're going to put in another text box, and we're going to have here treehouse text. Okay, so you don't need to put anything on, you don't need to do any writing, add any images, it's just simply the boxes. And then what I might decide to do is put another box in and a text box, and I might choose here to put the info icon. And then I might just pop a little text box next to it. So looking at the information we've got, that's it. So might have more information. Click here. Let's click here for booking details. Okay, so I've got those bits of information that are there so that somebody can clearly see what's going on. Okay, so I am then going to save that. That is all 4 of my slides that are set up. I've explained some of the things about consistency. I've explained some of my accessibility. I've explained my navigation. I've explained some of my images. Okay, so what I need to do is for my slides now is I need to go to View and I need to go to Notes Pages, and then I'm going to write into the Notes page all the other key information that I am going to have for my slides. Okay, so you need to look at your Task 2 interface design document so that you can see all of the things that you need to talk about. So you need to think about writing on what colours you're going to use for your background, what font styles you're going to use. Now you only need to write those pieces of information on the home screen. Okay, so on your notes, all you need to do is put your information. Background colour on all slides. Helps if I put a G. Background colour on all slides will be a pale green. This reflects the topic of a farm. It will always stay the same to show consistency. This means that users won't get confused when they are on a different screen. A pale colour will allow the images to stand out and the text to be read easily. Okay, so next one, font will be Calibri. It will be dark brown. This shows the farm theme and is dark enough to stand out on the background. This is the same on all slides, so you don't need to write it out on every one because you've told us once. Okay, and then you might say navigation bar will be darker green, and this is consistently located at the top as it is easy to see and makes the user confident they know how to move around as it looks like the hyperlinks on a website. Right, I'm going to pause the video here, I'm going to add some more stuff and then I will come back to you. Right then, so a couple more things that I've added on is I've popped on my facilities screen that the images will be the same size and will be balanced on the screen so that information is not cramped and there is plenty of white space. This makes it easier for people to understand as it isn't too cluttered. The image is linked to the text about the facilities. Then on my accommodation one, I've put the treehouse images above the text as this is consistent with the facilities images being above the text on the other screen. The text relates to the image. I put an info icon so anyone interested can find out more. I left the sides of the slide as white space so it's not too cluttered and it is easier to use and more professional in the look. So I've given some really good information. I've tried to explain the key things that we were asked to do within this task. So if we go back to our task, so have I done 4 screens? Home, attraction, facilities, accommodation? Yes. Have I used images and information from the resource document? Yes. Have I explained where it could be easy to use? Yes. Have I used appropriate design principles? Yes, because I've talked about contrast. I've talked about white space. I've talked about consistency. Have I included different accessibility features? Yes, I have, and I've explained it. So you have a lesson and a half in which to do this. In fact, you get 2 lessons, an hour and a half. As you can see, I've just done this. I know I'm going to be quicker than you, but it's been well able to be done within the time that you're allowed. Hopefully this helps you understand how to run these tasks.